guys, welcome back to Yes We Pod.
The podcast where we put you back in community. My name's Emily.
And I'm Evie, and today we are here with the number 23. We are on our 23rd episode this week.
23 is crazy. Guys, we're legal. 5 years ago.
Still.
5 years ago. Oh my gosh. Hi guys. Welcome back to this week's episode. We missed you guys.
We're so happy that you're here and that you joined us.
Yes.
It's people
Evie,
like you.
How are you? Oh yeah.
Girl.
Yeah, no, you guys. You guys not enough attention. Evie, how are you?
I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh! Is
What?
that? I'm not even gonna sing it because I don't know it, but I know what you're talking about. That just like awakened the memory in my head.
What?
Yeah. Dun, 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 da, 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 belong.
Oh my god, I did sing that melody.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait, is that what you're saying?
No, I just have ADHD. I'm just kidding. How I'm doing. You said how I'm doing. I am a bit better than I was a week ago. I'm just tired. I feel like I've just been running on E. And to be honest, all I've been doing is working and sleeping and eating. Like I feel like I don't know.
Okay.
And I'm always tired, but it's fine. We're here. We're alive. Anyways, how are you? How's your week?
Oh, my week was so busy. Guys, I made the girls' basketball team.
Hey.
Look up
Tell
for
them your number. Tell them your number. Yes, number 20.
I don't know if that's gonna be my number though. I just have it on my practice jersey, but I guess it's like, yeah. I won't change it. It's gonna be 20.
You're 20?
You're 20? We did it. We're so weird. Anyways. But yeah, I was talking with a few friends on Wednesday, and I was like, my high for the week was that I made the girls' basketball team. My low for the week was that I made the girls' basketball team. Because why am I 3 hours chasing a ball to put it in the net? No, and it's not just that. Why am I running 17 laps? Question mark?
Oh my goodness.
Why
That's excessive.
Why? Guys, I think I triggered my asthma again. Low key, I think I did. Well, that was only the first day. Okay, the first day I got in the car and I was still coughing because I didn't have oxygen. Today, not so much. Today, I think I'm getting better and getting used to it.
But it helps you. But you working out and running around, that's opening your airways and stuff like that. Literally, it's helping your asthma. I remember when I was how old was I? I was 12 when I started playing the saxophone, and I had horrible asthma. And my doctor was like, this is going to be so great for your lungs. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess that stuff helps, It helps you.
Yeah.
It helps you with your asthma, your breathing and stuff like that. But no, sports is not for me, but I'm glad.
That's why.
I'm glad you're doing great and you love it. Because personally, me, I could never. But I really do love that for you because I can tell you're so passionate about it. I wish.
No, and it's that. I don't like sports, guys. But I don't know. I like structure and I like winning and I like being able to run into people.
She's competitive queen.
So, guys, no, and it's really bad because today, for the first time, I got mad. And I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, but one of the girls was like, she stepped her foot out of bounds. And I was like, no, I didn't because I wasn't pivoting with my right foot. Oh, I got really mad.
She was using big words. You be using big words at them. They were like, okay, I don't want to mess with you anymore. You're using big words. Don't talk to me.
She was a senior too. So, and we were playing.
I'll be scared of you.
So we were playing a scrimmage. So it's our own team against our own team. We're just playing against each other. But we were she's a senior. We're friends. But if it was a middle schooler,
not anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
You're fine. Don't yell at me. Who are you? You just popped out of the womb, bro. What do you mean? You're and then again, I'm still learning. So every Monday we're doing film, basketball film, and we're learning plays, and I've been watching LSU championship games all week. So fun. I love it. Wait, like actually, guys, I get it now. Oh, like, oh no, there's like a game today. Like, no, I get it now. I used to hate that. Don't talk to me about guys. Like, don't talk to me about games. Oh, like, no, like, I have to watch this game. Like, no, don't talk to me about that. You're dumb. But I get it now. It's
She's
just
like,
like
now
once
I
you
am the
realize
one
what
watching
they're
the game.
doing, yeah, like it's so crazy. Once you understand what they're doing, it's like, oh, like that makes sense. Like, oh, that was good, or like that was, that was obviously a foul. Like, travel, like stuff like that. Guys, I've been doing this for a week. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. I'm like, yeah, like definitely, like no, I'm such an expert. Like, no, don't talk. I literally don't know what I'm
Not you
doing. But
like going on a whole tangent and then you're like, no, actually disregard everything that I'm saying.
well,
No,
like don't
you
disregard
love
everything I'm
it.
saying. Like I am being truthful. Like listen to everything what I'm saying because I am right, but also I'm not an expert. But yeah, it's just really fun and it's a good sport and it's like it's just fun. And it's a sport that you genuinely like all sports. It's an activity that time and work makes you get better at it. Um you can't cheat around being good. And I like that. I like that. It's just, it pushes you, it forces you to do better and, care for yourself, stretch. Girl, I've never stretched more in my life than this week. Well, when I was
Love that though.
dancing, but stretching is so important. It helps your blood flow. Like, I wake up in the
Ooh.
mornings and I'm not as tired. Neither am I as tired when I like work out. Yeah, stretching helps. That's so crazy. I didn't realize that. If you stretch for 10 minutes in the morning and at night, it helps your blood flow. Anyways, that's not what we're here for. But
Literally
go
will
ahead. I
work
know you want to say something.
wonders.
What?
No, no.
Go ahead.
I'm just so excited to get into this week's episode.
Yeah.
We have a great topic. Guys, I have the giggles right
Yeah.
now. And we're just gonna talk about some expectations. Um
Yeah.
and honestly, as just a human being at this point, there are expectations on us from when we come out the womb. Like, why
Oh
my
yeah.
parents putting expectations on me when I was born? Like, I would just
For
take a breath.
real.
Um. So yeah, we're just gonna get into a good conversation. Just about that. And just really just the expectations in everything from even just what we talked about. There's so much expectations in everything we do, whether it's like a hobby we do or just a person that we are, and what comes along with that. One thing that just to start us off that I wanted to get into, and it was a conversation that I had literally just had with my dad. Um, well, it's kind of spicy, but whatever. We were
Okay.
watching Love is Blind. Controversial show,
Mm-hmm.
number one.
Okay.
And there was a scene where we were talking about the woman was like the mom of the husband or the fiance was like, "Oh, like has she cooked for you yet? Like has the
Mm.
like fiance cooked for you?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, she has." And she was getting on me because I haven't. Right? So then me and my this is I'm not airing everyone out, guys, okay? I'm just telling
My
you my
opinion.
discussion. So my discussion with my father was I was saying how like, oh, I was saying like, what is this expectation that the woman has to be the one to always cook? Like, I don't know, I
Mm.
don't like that. And I just
Yeah.
hate that.
Yeah.
It's not because I can't. It is kind of because I can't. But it's just like I'm learning. And I just don't know what the expect. Why is it such a thing? I get it. The man worked and the woman was like the one taking care of the house and taking care of the family. But the guy can take care of the family in the ways that the woman also takes care of the family. Or just
Right.
these expectations that women always have to be the ones that are cleaning. Like, why can't the guy clean? And
Yeah,
I'm not in
exactly.
a I'm not even in a relationship to be having these like to be attesting these
That
opinions. But
yeah.
it's just something that was on my mind because I was like, as expectations as a woman, it's like you have to be the one that is always like, you're the sentimental one. You're not thinking with your logic. I don't really like that. Saying that, like, I get it. There's submission and things like that, but there's also like equal parts that I feel not equal. I don't know how to describe it in a way that it's not going to hurt someone's feelings, but at the end of the day, this is how I feel.
No. Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
and I think
why
exactly
can't
what
the
you're
guy
saying,
cook?
Right. And exactly what you're saying, like, why are we expected to, like, not hurt anyone's feelings? Guys, literally, so perfect. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I just gave my own example.
Like, oh my gosh, I love it. But it's that, like, this week, I've been feeling really bad this week, these past 2 weeks, because there's been on multiple occasions where I've been mean to the people around me. And it hasn't, like, literally today, where I was like, maybe I'm not mean. Maybe I'm just either reciprocating energy or telling them the truth. And it's so crazy that literally, as women, we are expected to be so aware of not only our own emotions, but everyone else's. And
yes,
like, true. I had to tell, and again, I'm not going to air everything out, but basically to sum up one of the, situations, I had to tell a senior, a 17-year-old, well, you're still a kid, but you're a grown kid, that you can't skip school.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
in your senior year. Yes. And then I had to, like, tell someone at work that, no, you're not going to stand around. I will snitch on you. Even though this is a team effort. And if one person doesn't do their job, everyone else is screwed. Like, it's literally, you cannot. That's fast food in general, guys. Like, and literally all those situations, I've been like, again, I go throughout my day being so out of it, and then I come home at night and I just take out everything that happened on the day and I just review it, and I hate myself for it. But it's so crazy how most, if not all, the things that we encounter where we're like, oh, like, that's too mean, or like, that's, maybe you should have said that. It's because we're being truthful and we're going against what we're expected to do, which is care and meticulously, like, look for people's feelings and to care for them and to nurture them and make sure they are not hurt and make sure, they, things like that. And it's like, no, like, I can stand up for myself and I can stand up for others, because that's my thing. I'm not going to tell you anything. If you want to go crazy by yourself, but if you are hurting others, if you're hurting the team that you're on, I'm going to tell you something. And I feel bad telling people things because I don't like being yelled at. Guys, oh my God. Literally. Oh, new ick. Sorry, I know that's not. Ick is another episode.
We have an ick episode.
Yeah, we're having an ick episode, but just for like a little teaser. Big ick right now. A man telling me what to do. Don't you ever raise your voice at me. Don't you ever raise your voice at me. The biggest mistake a person could ever make, don't raise your voice at me. Don't talk to me like you have power over me. That icks me out. I can't do it. Guys, I was raised with a Puerto Rican mom and a Puerto Rican dad. And they both had their BC eras that even I'm not allowed. I signed an NDA. Guys, you know what? Right. You were talking about expectations before birth. That was it. They signed my birth certificate and my NDA. I'm not even supposed to. Yeah. Don't you ever think that you can come to me and talk to me. So I feel like it's so crazy that, yes, we have these expectations that, like you said, like, we're supposed to be docile. We are seen as docile and submissive, not supposed to talk about it, not supposed to talk or what's that called?
Yeah,
like,
talk at all. Period. Have a voice.
Exactly. We're not, and it's this expectation that we are supposed to be nice and kind and do things for that. And then also, running back to what you said, I had this conversation with my mom, and it was such a good conversation too, because like, it was something that I saw on Facebook. And again, not to air everyone out because I have Facebook people on here, but it's like, I saw a comment that was like, oh, like, women these days, like, because there's this trend now where it's like, oh, teaching my son how to cook so he's not impressed by your daughter's Stouffer. Oh,
yeah.
oh, that gets me. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I've seen that.
This crossover episode, unpopular opinion crossover episode, popular opinion, most of the expectations that we face are from women. Are you kidding me? In this society, in this day and time, are we still doing this?
Yeah.
Why are we still shaming other women for not holding up old belief systems? We are ever developing as a society. We are developing ways to not only be better people, but better Christians. Like, everything's so new in today's age because it needs to be. Because without progress, we are nothing. We are stagnant. So why are we still shaming women for what? Not being able to cook? Like, that's, if anything, that's for you. Like, you know, you gotta know how to cook because you gotta survive.
Right,
But
right,
what do you
right.
mean? So he's not impressed by your daughter's Stouffer lasagna. Like, girl, yeah, I'll eat that up because that's food. That means she got money to buy, like, you
Right.
know, that means she's prepped. That means she's not spending money out McDonald's every day. That means she's buying money, so spending her money well so she can come home and actually make her food. And you know what? It slaps. You put a little Parmesan cheese on there, that's good. And what? Like,
And
she was
what?
surviving. And what? Like, that gets me too. And then I was like talking to my mom about it, and I'm like, it's crazy how it's this like not teaching my son how to cook so he can survive, teaching my son how to cook so, you know, indifference to other women. Like, it's not a competition. It's
It really
not a
isn't.
competition. And it sucks that, to round it off, that things like this in our normal day society are still honestly perpetuated by our older generation. It's conversations that we do need to have with our older generation of our mothers and our aunts. And though it's hard because, you know, a lot of our family comes from an older mindset that it's not just going to break because they've lived years and they've survived so long on these traditions and on these beliefs.
Right.
So it's not easy to try to explain things to them. However, it
Yeah.
is important to share your perspective because, again, our world is growing and your status isn't defined anymore by how good a housewife you are. You know, women have so much to offer, and they always have, but now we have an ever-growing platform, and I think our mindset should change on that. And like, it's crazy how it's literally a 50s, you know, 60s mindset, but it still perpetuates today because everyone feels the effect on it. I grew up this way, so why aren't you acting this way?
Right.
And
It's frustrating. And it's just frustrating to try to explain it to someone that's not going to get it because they don't see it any other way. Like, they still have that belief. So when I was having this conversation with him, we were going back and forth. And I was just like, that's frustrating that you think that way because if you think that way about this small thing, then what do you think about everything else?
Oh, yes. Yeah, keep going. I'm like, yes, like,
No, you're good.
no,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's literally so good because that's what I feel, and that gets me. And like, I'm so sorry, I keep cutting in. I watch you. Sorry, but
No, you're good.
I was talking to like my brother the other day, and I was talking about that. Like, I got upset at him, and obviously, like, that was on me. But I got upset at him because I like came home late from work, and I was just really tired. And I had told him earlier that day, like, oh, I was gonna cook, and I didn't cook because I got home. And then he was like, oh, I thought you were gonna cook, and he didn't eat anything. And obviously, miscommunication is something that could have been solved, but um and obviously I explained it to him and we both found middle ground and we were like fine. And but it was also like he shared his perspective with me, which is like I got upset over something small, but I shared my perspective with him, which is like something so normal for you hurts me because that's
Yeah.
also this connotation of like um that like I'm your sister, and if I say like you know, and again, I did say it. It wasn't like he expected me to, but it was just this conversation where, like, the perspective of my life, of what I'm expected from not only my family, but just from everywhere I go. No matter, it's not going to escape me as soon as I leave this house. Like, it's always in the back of my mind, is my brother okay? Are my parents okay? And for me, I have a different mindset and perspective than him. And we just had like a little talk about it, but it was a good conversation because I explained to him like that for me, knowing how society sees me and knowing how like my mom, like my mom is such a warrior. Like I remember days where like she would work literally 7 to 8, like try to provide for us, and my dad also being out and us going to school, and she still come home and cook dinner, and like she still like has time to help us with homework and love on us and all these
Right.
things. And like for me it was like that's what I grew up with, and that's the example that I want to follow, but I'm also supposed to follow. And so it's a different perspective when someone who isn't fully expected that, they don't have those
Right.
expectations on them. It's different when you try to have a conversation with him and try to explain to them how your life is. Even though we were raised the same way, we don't always have the same expectations. And so we had that conversation, and it was such a good conversation because I also got to hear his perspective, and obviously that's not his fault because
Right.
none of us asked for this. None of
Right.
us asked to be, you know, raised in this society that, you know, treats us this way or sees us this way. Um, but it was really good because I got to see that, and it was, I think, the first time where I kind of like connected with him and, you know, was able to explain that. But yeah, that was my part. All right, take it away.
No,
Sorry.
yeah. No, you're good. Don't be sorry. But I think it's just that, like you said, it's challenging the expectation. Like
Mm-hmm.
whoever's, or as we try to like be ourselves and teach others how we want to be treated and get rid of the expectation. I think, yes, there are expectations of how we should act, like with morals, but when it comes to like,
Yeah.
when it comes to the actions, that people put, or the expectation of emotions we should portray, especially being a young person,
Yeah.
any young person, just expected to just stay silent, expected to comply, expected to
Mm-hmm.
follow. um it's hard. I think it's
Yeah.
hard for people to for our older generation to understand what silencing opinions of your, maybe your children or your friends or whoever that is, like what it does to people. Because you have an expectation that, oh, they should just do what I say because I'm the parent, or they should just follow what I believe because I hold the beliefs, or I'm making up this belief, not making up this belief, but I've held this belief for so long that they should just follow it. But in reality, like we can't expect people just to comply just because. Um,
Yeah.
I don't. I just remember, like, for me personally, years ago, I remember my mom being like, "Well, this is my, like, like," and it's not, it's something that everyone says, but it's just like, "Oh, well, this is our house, and and this house, this is what we're doing, so if you're not gonna follow that, well, then you need to, because this is your house." It's just an expectation, like whatever we do, whatever we say, you follow it because you're here. But there's no room for opinion, there's no room for growth in those senses where we're silencing, when we're being silenced, lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And then just expectations that people have on us as leaders, like as leaders, as wherever we are, whether you're a vice president, or whether you are, you're leading a church, or you're leading a small group, or I don't know, your family. Just an expectation to always be okay, expectation to always be silent and comply, to not have an opinion. That's more control. But it's just an
Yeah.
expectation that you should always be okay with what's happening. Um, and I think we're not honest with ourselves if we are always, how do I say it? We're agreeing with the expectation, which it's not bad to have like standards for
Right.
people. But there's a difference between having standards for someone and then like I don't know, just putting an
Follow
unrealistic
through. Yeah.
expectation. So
Right.
that's all I wanted to say
And I love
for
that.
that.
And I think it relates back to, both our situations, like what we're going through right now. And I think, like, I've had moments very recently this week where I I've been like struggling recently with, trying to be and act a little more composed when I go out. Cause
Mm-hmm.
I just have this, like, I feel like I'm expected to be the funny one, and I'm expected to, I just feel it. I just feel the need to make everyone laugh, and I like it. I like making people laugh. I like, being funny and just joking around and stuff like that. Um, and I had to have a conversation with someone very recently where where they were very upfront with me, and they're like, hey, like, and I didn't like it at first because I'm like, like, again, don't tell me anything. Don't tell me what to
Mm-hmm.
do. But it's also like, I think there are some standards that you need to follow. But I think it was a good conversation, but I do remember still feeling like, is that what's really expected of me? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be anything else but myself. And of course,
Right.
like, I go through great lengths sometimes and kind of like, follow through over the cliff's edge sometimes, but I am me, and I am a giggly, strange, weird person. Um, and I think it's also this, like, oh, I'm a pastor's daughter. Like, you're a pastor's daughter. Like, you have experience in church.
Mm.
Like, da da da. And that's what got me too. Not to air out. She doesn't listen to this, anyways. But she doesn't know I have a podcast. But she was like, oh, because like how this goes, and I was like, oh, okay. And it was kind of this like, oh,
Right.
like it is expected of me to be, you know, just again, docile church leader.
Yeah.
I'm here if you need prayer, and like an NCP, like that just checks on everybody and doesn't like have feelings and a personality and, actual
Yeah.
life and
Yeah.
identity. And I think it's hard when you do want to be accommodating to people, but it's also, I hate that we feel like we have to change ourselves because we are expected to be a certain kind of people or identify with a certain kind of character.
Right.
Um, we are, I think, the most beautiful thing to ever exist is diversity and being able to be different people. And, you know, I love that I get to have so many friends that have different personalities and are so different, that come from different backgrounds. And I hate when people are still enforcing this ideology that in order to be Christian or in order to be respectable, you have to
Yeah.
act a certain way. And that gets
Yeah.
me. And of course,
Right.
I take what I need, I leave what I don't. But I also think that it is important to obviously monitor yourself, monitor who's around you, because you are looked at. You are, we're all leaders. If you have someone looking up to you, you are a leader. Um,
Right.
but it's also important that as the leader, you share the most important thing, um, and you not only verbally but through your actions, you show that it is important to first and foremost be yourself, because no one else is going to be like you. Um, and to kind of put that pressure on yourself to be this like perfect Christian, to be this like, you never mess up, you never say the wrong word, you never say the wrong joke, you never say this is
Right.
detrimental to us, detrimental to our growth, detrimental to others who are still learning how to be a good Christian. You want to be a good Christian, be a good person, be yourself.
Mm.
And I think that's the basis of it. But yeah.
Yeah. That all of that. Because what I was just gonna say too was literally all the things that we always talk about. The expectations of, oh, I love God, but I can't post. God forbid. I post a little screenshot of my Spotify, and it's Carol G, or it's I don't know, Drake or something that probably everyone is
Mm-hmm.
listening to, but it's like, oh no, like
Yeah.
she's listening to the no, like no, I can still love God and love music. I can still
Right.
appreciate literally anything. Um,
Right.
just because I have different, or whether it comes to like certain, I'm gonna get real close here, outfits. Just because I wear a crop top doesn't mean I don't love Jesus. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. I think that people can look at someone and they have, again, the expectation, but when you don't know the heart that someone has, it could be easy to judge them. Or you don't know the
Right.
background of the person. Like, it could be easy to say, "Oh, your bio says God first," but looking at your story doesn't say that. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, again, it's those expectations that I wish people didn't deem so harshly. And yes,
Yeah.
there are things that are of the world that, we shouldn't always, go for and put in, but there's people that can be, that are drawing Christians away, even, again, like you said, just from being themselves, because they don't have the same agreement. They
Right.
don't teach it in the way that it should be taught. They rather
Yeah.
like be harmful about it, or just spew a
Right.
hate comment about it, not be informed, or post a sub post about it. Like, I really
Yeah.
hate, one thing about me, what I hate is when other Christians that have expectations of what is right, or what they believe to be right, will bash other people's beliefs because they don't
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
But aren't we the light? Aren't we the salt? Yes, you could have a disagreement, but you don't have to post it in such a way that is harmful. Like, or you don't have to be
Right.
harmful to someone because you have a different expectation of them. So that is just
And
my tangent.
yeah.
um,
No, and I think that's so important. And just to kind of like quickly just say, like, I think people that enforce expectations on others either have two mentalities, and you can always tell. Either they expect you to be something or do something because they want something better for you, or they expect you to do something or be something because they had to. And seeing
right,
you with liberty and freedom doesn't sit right with them. And I think people who want you to be better will never, one, publicly shame you, will never make you
right,
feel guilt. Someone who wants you to do better will always, prior to whatever event occurred or whatever they want to say, will have already a relationship with you. Someone who genuinely
exactly.
cares about you will already have, a relationship where you guys can talk and have a safe space to, and those people always listen. Literally always listen
Yep.
because they have something to say. Like those people that genuinely want to build you up, they know. And I'm talking more like, older generation, like
Yeah, yeah, I
things
know.
like my mom have said to me so many times prior. Now I'm like, okay, like that makes sense. It doesn't mean that it's wrong, but it doesn't mean that it's right for me right now. And I
No,
think that's
exactly.
something separate. But people who genuinely want to tear you down because they never got that liberty, it is so evident. It is so
Yeah,
evident in the way that they come to you, the way that they portray, like, oh, maybe like you shouldn't do that or you shouldn't post that, or like stuff like that. It generally gets me because I literally very recently, very quick story, I posted a song from a very one of my favorite artists, Mitski. I'm going to see her in concert. I'm so excited. And
yes.
it's one of her sadder songs, and I posted that like on my notes. And then a guy from my school was like, "Wait, aren't you like?" It was like something I don't even remember, but he was like, he put something first, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just in my sad girl emo era, and I'm like, he was like, what, aren't you like Christian or something? So stupid, he
Yeah,
said no.
not for
Aren't
all
you
that.
singing on the worship team as a Christian or something so
Ooh.
stupid? And then I was like, yeah, and like I'm not gonna share everything that happened in that conversation. Anyways, I ate him up Just so you guys know, I ate him up. All right, I'm not gonna share anything, but I ate him up. Anyways, after that, seeing him in school, we were just having a conversation about like horror movies or something like that, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not allowed to go see them," and I'm like, "Oh, it's because you're not allowed to do things." And again, that's a whole nother conversation we can have about horror movies because, guys, the eyes are the windows to the soul. Please be careful whatever you watch. Please, that's just. But it's also this like his mom. We were talking about a lot of things, and he was like, "Oh, like my mom doesn't let me do that, or my mom doesn't let me do that." It's like, oh, like it's not because you are genuinely worried about me and my Christian walk and my faith, even though it stands strong. Yeah. Even if I listen to the Mitski song, like, if anything, it reminds me of how much I love God. Like, that love that she talks about, like I got that with God, like. But it's because you're not allowed to do certain things, so now you're questioning why I'm allowed to do certain things. And I think that really sums up like what we've been talking about today. I think even with ourselves, we do that. Like we compare ourselves to others. Others are allowed to do that. Why aren't we why are we expected to do that? And it's one of my biggest flaws, and I do that a lot, and it's really bad. But I think that we can have liberty in knowing that our journeys are not similar with everybody else's. And it's important to know that other people are going to have expectations put on them, and they're going to feel terrible about it, and they're going to project that onto us. But I think the best thing we can do is pray for each other and let each other know that it's okay to have a different walk and journey. Just because my life doesn't look like yours doesn't mean it's messed up. Doesn't mean it's wrong. Right. It just means we're different. And I love that. I don't ever want to walk the same walk as anybody else. And I hope nobody walks the same walk I do. Because you need to figure that out on your own. And so, yeah. Amen.
Period. She was snapping. She said, don't walk my walk. I walk my own walk. Thank you. No, but all in all, love this conversation because we've talked about it a lot off the pod. And it's just a reminder that just be yourself. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
Just be yourself. And that's it. That's like the whole message.
Yeah.
And don't put too much expectation on yourself either.
Right.
So yeah, that was it, guys. I'm so happy that we had this conversation. I'm so happy that we got this time. Make sure you guys listen to all of our episodes, but you keep following us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and our Instagram at YesUPod, our TikTok at YesUPod, and anywhere you get your podcasts. We're here. And YouTube. I think I said YouTube already.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yes. All the places. Go all of them, open all your apps at once so that you can follow them all at once and listen to them all at once.
Yeah. And stream it like 80 times while you're sleeping. And make sure that while the episode is playing that you take a screenshot and you tag us on Instagram so we can repost. And yeah, that's literally it. We love you guys so much.
We love y'all. See you next week.
Love y'all. Bye.
Guys. Bye.